Okay, so raise your hand if you are choosing the text set about invasive species. Okay, you put your hands down. Raise your hand for child labor text set. All right, and then raise your hand for distracted driving text set. All right, good. So there's a pretty good mix of sets, which I was kind of hoping would happen. All right, so here is the next step and what we're going to focus on today. All right, so your focus today is that you are thinking about the three big questions. Now, the one that I feel like still has been kind of an issue of confusion is that whole what did the author think I already knew piece. I think you guys are getting fairly comfortable with the what surprised me and what changed, challenged, or confirmed what I knew. But I want to specifically model for you that what I think the author, or what the author thinks I know, okay? I want you to think of it today as not so much vocabulary. Yes, there probably will be vocabulary that you don't understand, and that's fine. You can use that. But I want you to also just think about overall topics, okay? Or just items that you may not understand or you're confused by what it really means, like the ideas of what certain things mean. So to do that, I'm going to show you an example, okay? You guys are going to be getting a chart that looks exactly like, it's the exact chart that you did the last time, okay? It has the what surprised me, what does the author think I know, and then what changed, challenged, or confirmed what I knew, okay? But I'm going to show you an example of this one. So remember, for this topic, in the left-hand side, you're writing down, what does the author think I know? What strategy did I use to figure it out? Did I use context clues, my background knowledge? Did I visualize it, or did I look it up? And then, what do I think it means now? So I chose my own text set, and I'm just going to read just a piece of an article that I found. So this is about how social media is changing basically every part of our lives today, okay? This article specifically talks about politics, okay? And how this campaign has been kind of affected, I guess, by this whole social media aspect. So this is called selfie election. So all I'm going to do, I'm not going to read the whole article. I'm just going to read a portion to you. And I want to stop and think about something the author thinks I know that I really don't. Okay? So right now, I just need your eyes up here. And we're just going to look at this first page. How cell phone pics and social media are changing the way candidates campaign for president. And this is from Scholastic. As soon as Hillary Clinton stepped down from the podium at a recent Democratic fundraiser in Little Rock, Arkansas, Charles Jones sprinted toward her, phone in hand. When the high school senior from Benton, Arkansas, got through the crowd, he asked her to take a selfie with him. Well, of course, Clinton replied. Jones quickly posted it on Twitter and Facebook, unleashing a chain of retweets, favorites, comments, and shares. It brought a little refresher of popularity to me, he says. Jones is hardly the only person posting pictures with a presidential candidate to social media. Voters used to settle for a handshake or an autograph. Today, though, they'll wait in line for hours to snap a quick candidate selfie. The must-have souvenir of the 2016 presidential campaign. The candidates have little choice but to submit to the ritual. After all, voters will soon start choosing who they want as their next president. The Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary are just a few weeks away. It's a cultural trend, said Brian Donahue, who runs a political communications firm. Presidential candidates who want to communicate that they're in touch and know what's going on culturally, especially among millennials, need to show that they get it. Selfies are an easy way to do that. So what I'm going to focus on in this article are, basically I'm going to kind of combine two things. It talks about, in this section, it talks about the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary. Now, I'm not a big political person. I'm following it a little, but not a bunch. And I know that they had the Iowa caucus, I saw that on TV. But I'm not exactly sure what goes into that. I don't exactly know what the idea of that really means. Okay? So that is going to be my example on my chart. So the first thing I'm going to write down is what the author thinks I know. Well, the author thinks I know what the Iowa caucus is and also in primary, New Hampshire primary. Now, if I look back at the text, again, I should not see any hands on computers. Turn them away from you. Or close them. If I look, there is no way for me in that small little excerpt, there's no way for me to grab any context clues. There is nothing that tells what those two things are. Because it says voters will soon start choosing who they want as their next president. The Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primary are just a few weeks away. That doesn't really tell me anything. Okay? So I can't use context clues. So really what I'm going to rely on is my background knowledge. So that's what I would put in this box. Now, I want you to quickly talk with the people next to you about what you think or what you know, what background knowledge you might have about those two things. Go ahead and talk to the person next to you real quick. Go.
I don't understand that. I don't understand that. Even by taking pictures of my social media, like gain younger fans.
Alright, 3, 2, 1. Let me get eyes back up here. Alberto, what did you have to talk about?
We talked about that Iowa, it means like one specific state, and citizens vote for whatever it is, Republican or Democrat, and they vote for whoever they want to vote for. So, basically like a poll.
So it's like a poll. So only one person wins that, right? Okay. Gavin.
I don't remember 4 years ago when Obama got elected president, Romney was running for it. I remember me and my dad were watching the states. They were like blue and red.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember, I'm guessing that that's what this means. Like, the state as a whole decides who won. It's not like they count all the individual votes. They take the overall average and they say, okay, this is what our state is voting.
Okay. I think both of you are definitely on the right track. And again, I'm not like super knowledgeable on this topic. I just want to hear about what you guys talked about. Catherine.
It's where like the Democrats of Iowa and the Republicans of Iowa, they come together and they like meet in groups where they go to a certain spot and cast their votes on who they want their representative to be. Which is where like, you know how like it starts with a giant group of like bunches of Republicans, and then eventually they start like dropping off because they're not getting the numbers that they need to be the person thing. So
Candidate.
yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
So and it gets to the final two, and they have like a bunch of debates, and they use all those commercials and stuff. So basically, what they're in the Iowa caucuses and the New Hampshire primaries, they're coming together to try to push their opinions so that they get their person who they want to be in the final two.
Okay, so the person that state wants. Okay. So you guys are all and you used your background knowledge to kind of come up with those ideas, okay? So I'm going to kind of combine all those and what you said and kind of what I know about it. And what I do know is that this doesn't necessarily determine who that state may end up voting for in the end, okay? So, like, in the Iowa caucuses, I know that governor from Ohio, he's a Republican, he beat Donald Trump in Iowa, okay?
It's the not super old guy.
Starts with a K. Anyway.
Bernie Sanders?
No, not Bernie
No,
Sanders.
it's not. Bernie Sanders is the Democrat.
Oh.
But
Tom Cruise.
I was just guessing.
it's not Cruz,
It
no.
was
It wasn't Ted Cruz. It was the Ohio governor, but I just can't remember.
The Ohio governor.
Anyway, here's the point. What I do know is that whoever wins these caucuses, yes, does it determine who that state may vote for? Yes, but not necessarily. Kayla, do you want to share something? Okay. So I do know, like Alberto and Gavin talked about, it is a poll by state.
You should say student background.
That's true, it's not mine. Groups of people, I'll say Democrats and Republicans separately, come together and vote for a person in each party. Doesn't mean they'll win in the end. So basically, I am taking things that you said and things that I know as a peer about these two words, and I'm determining what I think it means. Okay? I'm not thinking about a vocabulary word. I'm thinking about the ideas or the topics. So as you're reading today, I do want you to think about that. What are some ideas or what are some things, some topics that I may not know that much about or I don't understand or it's confusing to me, and how can I figure out what it is? Now today you're just reading Article 1, the first article in your group of texts, okay? That's the only thing you're focused on. That does not mean you're filling out this whole chart today. You're not. This chart is based on the 2 articles and the video. Okay? So maybe you only have one thing that surprised you today. Fine. Maybe there's nothing that the author assumes you know that you don't know. Okay? But just know that by Wednesday, this chart should be filled out based on the 2 texts in the video. Okay? So again, do you have to fill this entire chart out today?
No.
No. Okay? This is just a start. Just a start. But this does need to be completed by Wednesday once you've watched the video and read the 2 articles. Questions? Curtis?
Number 3,
Uh-huh.
it says for each article in the video, you get to be the teacher and create 5 multiple choice questions to go along with it. You want us to create 5 multiple choice questions for each article and video, or all as a whole?
We'll talk about it when we get there. Sam?
What do you mean Wednesday? Do you mean at the start of class or the
Ed? Angela?
So if we have like someone in the same group, we like come together.
So there will be opportunities, so when you do the multiple choice, because that is a really difficult one to do, I'm going to let you work with somebody who has the same article as you. For this assignment, for the big questions, you're doing that independently. For this, yeah, for the chart. Okay, so what you're going to do right now is you're just going to look at the very first article. Okay, that's the one you're gonna look at today. I'm gonna pass out your charts and you're going to get started, okay? Please put your name